April 10th, 1942. The Japanese had assembled about 78,000 prisoners. They began marching up to the east coast of Bataan in the Philippines. Although they didn't know it, their destination was Camp O Donnel, north of the peninsula, in what is now known as the Bataan Death March. It was just any other old day, me studying for a test, when I looked at this Bataan Death March. What was this Bataan Death March that this book talked about? What was it about? And I just had to look into it. I mean, so I went to the library and I found a bunch of these books. During World War II, in the Pacific Theater, early 1942, General MacArthur, commanding American forces on the Philippines, was commanded to leave because of the growing threat of the Japanese forces. Command was then given to General Wainwright, then later given to General King, who formally surrendered the American forces on the Philippines to the Japanese. I figured I could only learn what I learned from books, but there are certain parts and bits of information that I can find from other sources, so I decided to ask people around about the Bataan Death March.
The Bataan Death March, wasn't that a thing when like cops were running around with batons and they just started like beating the crap out of people?
Bataan Death March?
Yeah, the Bataan Death March.
I'm not sure that I do.
No?
Not really. I'm gonna have to say false.
The thing and the band?
No clue whatsoever?
No.
Nothing at all.
No. Unless it's the band thing.
Well, wasn't that when they killed all the Jews?
The Jews?
Yeah, you know the Jews, they wear like big noses and kippas and stuff?
Oh, I don't think so.
Was it one of those things where they like juggle the sticks and dance and stuff?
With the batons and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah?
That was when, all the people marched with batons, and there was death.
Is that something to do with like marching bands and death? I don't know, what?
Do you know about the Bataan Death March? He doesn't know either.
So what was it?
I'm pretty sure it was in the Philippines where they transported 60,000 POWs, but, you know, you could be right. I mean, some of them could have been Jews.
No, it's when they killed all the Jews, I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
No, it never happened.
What?
It never happened.
The Bataan Death March, you know what that is, right?
It never happened.
No, it did happen.
We were just like marching and the cops were like, what are you doing? And they just take a baton
No,
and just start beating them.
That's actually not.
No, I thought that's what it was.
No, that's not.
I really thought that's what it was.
No, that's not it at all.
It's not a band.
No, I don't think there are any batons. I think baton
I'm pretty sure I have their album.
The Bataan Death March.
That's
Their album.
yeah.
Oh.
They have like pictures of the guys juggling on the thing. I don't really even know.
Oh. That's cool. So I'll see you later then. All right, thanks. That didn't work out the way I wanted it to, but I actually wanted to figure out more about the subject. I actually asked around for historians, and I actually got up a lot of historians on the phone, and we actually talked about the real subject at hand, which was the Bataan Death March, and I actually got a few good answers from them.
It was a gruesome event in which over 60,000 American troops trudged 50 miles to Camp O Donnel, and many of them were both ill and mistreated by the Japanese soldiers. Many of these soldiers were brutalized by the Japanese, who led them sometimes to the end of reason.
David, come on, get up.
While marching, the POWs were rarely given food for many days, and when they were given food, it was often contaminated.
Well, one of the worst ones was called the sun treatment. The sun treatment torture was used by the Japanese, and the POWs were forced to sit under the blazing sun without any shade, helmets, or water. Anyone who dared ask for water was executed.
There was the officer status and souvenirs. The officer status did not provide for protection against the abuse of the Japanese.
No, I'm an officer.
Any prisoner who carried any Japanese souvenirs were immediately executed.
If anyone fell behind, whether it be by yards or a few inches, was immediately executed.
Some POWs escaped and joined Filipino guerrillas.
In 1946, General Hama was held responsible for the brutal treatment of the soldiers. He was tried, convicted, and executed the same year. Testimonies and survivors of the incident helped to convict the general of his war crimes. Before the death march was over, those who survived would march more than 60 miles through intense heat with almost no water or food. Somewhere between 5,000 and 11,000 never made it to Camp O Donnel. Those that fled joined a significant resistant movement which grew to perhaps 180,000 guerrillas throughout the Philippines. April 10th, 1942. The Bataan Death March.